You got to see it firsthand. Alabama buzzard. Oh! Anyway, I've got something super important to tell you if I don't get eaten alive by these freaking mosquitoes here. Welcome back to Balancing Divine Feminine Energy with Aria Jade. And if you would, just comment below where you're from. I can't believe we've got people all the way from the Middle East listening to what I have to say. But what I have to say today, I feel like is huge. If you are still praying, which it's not wrong, not by any means. It says, make your requests be made known to God, and the peace that surpasses understanding will be made yours. I believe that. That got me through many days. But hear me out. We've made it to a time where it's time to believe in ourselves enough to stop talking and start listening. When I wrote one of my books, one of my ebooks, don't sound like, oh, I've written a book. It's an ebook, and it's on Amazon, Forgive Yourself. It talks a lot about the only, or the main theme, I won't say the only, the main theme of the Bible is not to fall short of that rest, of that peace, that surpasses all understanding. Who has that right now? Well, we're supposed to. I say supposed to, because some days, no lie, life be life, and life gets hard. We knew this when we chose to come and incarnate. We chose the strife. We chose all because divinity isn't solid. Divinity is just pure light energy. So when we drop this density, our spirit will go back to dispersing, right? All of the atoms are being held in kind of like a water bag while we're here. And what we make of this avatar, if you stuff it full of nasty shit that's not food, then you're carrying around 3 avatars. That's a lot. Oh, I'm getting eaten alive. I've got to tell you my message and get out of here. I'm sorry, I'm going to make it short and sweet. And Drew may pop in. If you're still begging on your knees for God to do something for you, try this if you would. It came to me that when you don't rest, you see the suffering of the cross. You need it. You have to fall and beg, and I still have dear, sweet, precious friends that believe this so dearly. But you don't have to do this. Because when you relax and breathe and listen, she speaks. She is the original voice that we all hear. And when we allow her to speak to us, the suffering of the cross becomes the ankh. It opens up the womb. The hole has been there the whole time. Pun not intended. But, where can you see it? It's there. It's just we're so uptight and so clinging. Please forgive me. We're forgiven. Please give me. Receive. It's ours. It'll come through the womb when we relax and believe that we deserve to receive it. That's the hard part, right? So many important codes came through today. Things that it came from the Nag Hammadi, right? In 1945, a lot of truths were unearthed in something that they call the Nag Hammadi. And it was basically Dead Sea Scroll-like scripture that hadn't been found until then. There was an Apostle of John, an Apostle of Thomas. There were a lot of books that no one knew up until that time existed. And we can read them online. All you got to do is look it up. And there's some archives that'll pull it up and you can read it for free. But today, I just really began to understand what the womb, what the opening of that Ankh and the Sophia codes that come through when we allow ourselves to listen. The love that you will begin to feel in your heart, that burn like you used to feel when you were a child, that's what we came to experience. That's what we as starseeds came to share with others. That's what we crave, because that's going to create the heart-brain coherence for the rest of the world, right? We know this. We feel this. We're going forward with this. But this Sophia code, this was the voice of the serpent that came into the garden and said, "You will surely not die. You will become like those who know." It was wisdom. The Ankh is the key of life. And the serpent, right, that's on the Ankh represents wisdom. Once we relax enough, the whole presents itself, the womb, the void, right? Your kundalini, if you're going in that direction. And when your kundalini opens, it's a different perception. It goes off in the back of your mind, and everybody's experience is different. But I saw fireworks inside, I guess, my mind's eye, inside my head. It was very cool. And that connection, when you relax enough to allow it to flow, is our natural divinity. It's what we came from, came through. It's what's within us. It's not outside. That was the trick. That was the upside down and backwards lie that they've been telling us that we were supposed to do out of obedience to the one who created us. And I would never, I call it source, I call it spirit. I don't call it God, but the prime creator, whatever your name is. I feel like you're just a dumbass if you don't believe in that, right? But the ways that we got here have been cut off from us. We've had amnesia, and now we're coming into a time to where the frequency is rising high enough for us to be able to hear it again, for us to be able to remember without the fear. We've been locked out of these texts, away from this understanding. And like I was saying, we had been taught to fear things. It was laid out upside down and backwards on purpose to keep us from our true power, to keep us from remembering that we deserve a good life, that we are good within and don't need the things that are happening to us at this point in time. And we came to raise the frequency enough to pull through all of that. Because all the warring and all of the shadowing, all of the yuck is lower frequency. Is it never necessary? It will probably always be so. But ugh, to the level that it still is staying in that 3D. And most, if you're tuned into this channel, and especially if you've listened this far, whoop, whoop, then you are rising into the 4D, right? You're at that bridge space to where you know that world is not ours. And we're dreaming ourselves, if you will. We are imagining ourselves, feeling, which is a lot more energy than just the thoughts, right? The emotion gets plasmatic. The emotion moves more particles. It's more energy. So if we can get into that, then we help that energy to rise so that all of this warring and whoring and nastiness can go on and go away. But anyway, we've got to quit battling the wave of life of things that we can't change and slow down enough. Quit battling the bugs. Slow down enough to feel the water of the ocean, to feel the rock and the sway, which is hard to do because we got a lot of shit to do, don't we? We got a lot of stuff to get done. So, if this practice of not, oh, please, dear God, please do this, please, 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 stop asking from outside of you, because this whole experience is happening inside of you. It's not happening out here. So you want to stop, drop, and listen. And don't battle your thoughts. And don't think that you're just supposed to sit there and not do, thought go away, thought go away. Put an intention behind what you're doing. Put an intention to connect with Sophia Gaia, if that's what you want, or just to hear from whomever or whatever, because we are a receiver. We've been made to fear this, and it's our divine right. To receive the life that we came to live, our best life. So take time to slow down and breathe. Relax enough to remember. I forgot about this. Just like Osiris, once you wake up, Isis will be there to assist the reassembling of your divinity. So once you realize that you are a powerful being. It's my husband. Hold on just a second. Sorry. Once you relax, the gnosis is directly accessible. There's no need for a gatekeeper. You know, they've made us think everything is outside of us because that's where there's an offering plate. That's just like they've had to choke us off from the health. Where is the health? This is just a flower. But health comes from planting a real seed, watering it, watching it grow, picking it with your hands or with somebody's hands. Did you know plant frequency can tell the difference in human frequency than metal frequency? And metal, to cut it down with, like the blades of a machine, is harmful to the plant itself, takes away from its energy, so takes away from its ability to do what it's here to do, which is keep us full of life and health. There's so many things that we should have learned as children just because it's like the life manual, right? Why? These things are just like they're laid out in the stars. And now that we have AI, we see so many answers that have been our forefathers locked into, hid even in the Declaration of Independence, right? The fact that they did not come over here with slaves at all. And the first interracial marriage happened in Florida. It was Camp something, and it was a sovereign fort. It was Fort something. And it was close to Sarasota, Florida. But that's not what they meant to bring here to the United States. It was, I don't even want to go there. That's a whole nother podcast, whole nother talk. I remembered in 2014, there's no need for a gatekeeper. There was no need for a preacher to teach me about the Bible anymore. Once I read it, it did what it was supposed to do. It started speaking to me, right? You start interpreting for yourself instead of having to hear it from a preacher's mouth on Sunday. You know, there's a lot of people that get a lot of good out of that. I'm not knocking it. But for those of us that came to lead, these bugs are killing me. I know you can tell. That came here to be the star seeds and to really help humanity. You know, that's not it. We're going to go deeper. We're the geeks. We're the diggers. We're the readers. We're the being egoistic is not for the faint of heart. It's for those that crave truth. Omnia vincit veritas, right? Truth above all. I added amore omnia vincit veritas, which is love and truth overall. But that's over the door of my house. Lies kill everything. But anyway, let's go on to this. In 1945, the Nag Hammadi was discovered and revealed that Sophia is was as a centered text as an active agent. She moves, she transmits, she speaks as in first person. And she's the one that speaks in every creature, in every movement. And they made us incredibly fearful of even thinking this way. So once we realize it, and we can sit for just a couple of minutes a day, see what happens. Do it for 30 days. I challenge you. And see if the cross doesn't transcend into the ankh. See if alchemy doesn't begin, because we need it right now. We need to be rooted and grounded in some truth so that people will stop feeling like victims and they can rise above their circumstance. The freedom from currency is coming, but speak over your life every single day, because your voice transmits a vibration that goes out into the world, out into the universe, and comes back to you. So, from time, space, and currency, we are all free. So mote it be, because that's the way that it needs to be. And we all need to owe no one, because if you owe them money, you are their slave. There's no way around it. It's no longer, and hasn't been for a very long time, about the color of skin. It's about the depth of the wallet, the numbers in the bank account. It's about the Benjamins, right? But anyway, this had to come through. I had to get out here. Love to you. Have a great July.